Good morning, soul warriors and game changers. At least I think it's still morning. Good afternoon, good evening, good day to you, right? This is an important day. So there's another energetic solidification, okay? What does that mean? Well, before I get into that and what that means for you and what your job is in this ascension, yes, your job. We all have a job in this ascension if you're lucky enough to hear the call. And I do say if you're lucky enough to hear the call, because not everybody has a call, my friends. Okay? So don't ever shun that away. But before I get into that, let me explain who I am. My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. That's at least what Spirit calls me, right? Because we have names on the other side and here, and we're multi-dimensional beings as it is. But my earth birth name, right? My regular name is also Brianna. So you might know me as that. But I go by Juniper Bloom Mystique as all other intensive purposes go. What happened to me is I had a Kundalini awakening in 2019, which changed my life completely. And then all of a sudden, these things started happening to me and through me. I was doing healings I never even knew people could do before. Like, I'm talking, you guys, medical grade healings, okay? It's not a joke. The healings I do are not normal. They're very powerful and they're very real. I can do everything. So I don't limit my scope because I am a master healer. I didn't know that right away though. And nobody could tell me what was happening to me. Then all of a sudden I started doing these meditations and I had these like things happening to me during them where I would travel. I could travel outside my body and I would find myself in different places. And then I started doing things to the planet. One of the first things I did was clear Mount Shasta. Okay, that's not a joke. That's part of the Hopi prophecy. Everything I did is part of the Hopi prophecy. It's very biblical, the true Bible, the true information, not the false one. Okay, there is a difference. The work I did is massive, you guys. I'm not one of those. I'm not a starseed or a light work just talking about it. I brought it about. I know what it is. I know what it means. I know what Judgment Day is. I know what it took. This is an ascension of the gods. And I also, from there, I went to activating all the pyramids. These are not pyramids you've ever heard of or thought of, more than likely. Then from there, I started, these are just the basic things. I've done so many things. It took me 3 years to do, and that was the only thing I could do. So I went from psychology background, raising kids on my own, to can't do that anymore. Just doing all of these things. I didn't have any time for anything else. So I was doing something almost every day for 3 years for this ascension. Okay, it took a lot. The info I give you guys is minimal comparatively to the work that I did. It's big. And I did almost die doing it. And my DM, my twin flame, did die in the process. Okay, but I have a new one. I do, and I can't wait to meet him. I don't know who he is yet. I feel him sometimes. Today it's like very minimal and I don't like that. Like I feel lost without him. But in the end, it became the union of the twin souls, which was my DM and I. I had to clear all karma back to Adam and Eve, which kind of gives you insight into who I am. And then the union of all twin flames, which me and my DM and Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And I undid the Holy Grail. I know what that really is. All of that actually played out on my channel. It is witnessed, it is recorded, it happened to me and through me in real time, and it's available for you guys to see. So did the return of Christ already happen? Yes, it did. Absolutely it did, and it's still happening in the energy, okay? The only thing left is my DM to come through. He should have a long time ago, so, that's neither here nor there. He's working on it. He's doing his thing. He's an amazing soul, okay? What you guys also don't know is the ascension almost didn't make it. We almost didn't make it. But I made it through. I almost died, like I said. So it was a very painful one, but it was very beautiful nonetheless. And, I just wish more and more people can wake up to see the reality of what it is, because so many people won't even watch the proof, right? They just go into judgment. But there's something coming through today, okay? Some of you know that my DM's been called forward. I get attacked a lot. And I'm tired. I'm tired of the attacks. I'm tired of the negativity. Archangel Shamuel has come forward the last couple of days. Not today, he didn't. By the way, I've also seen 222 and 444. Because we're working together right now. So he's helping me raise the vibration. And there's a big movement of love. Okay, so what I'm talking about here is we're all so ingrained and so predispositioned, right? We are so good at falling into darkness. We are so good at using it as a coping mechanism. We are so good at not wanting to feel pain. And that's a detriment to our soul, okay? I've also healed the collective and individual shadow. I did that in a workshop course where I teach you how to heal your shadow and the steps that most people don't do, which is why a lot of people are continuing to heal their shadow their whole lifetime. That's not necessary, okay? There's a specific way to heal your shadow. And right now, every single person on this planet is feeling that. They cannot have the DNA activations unless you've healed enough. Okay, so you're either feeling the activation starting to come on if you're starseeds and light workers. Usually they're first, okay, because I've already brought it down. So I brought down Christ light. I changed the crystalline grid. I brought down the DNA activations through the activations of the pyramids and changing the earth structure. I also took us into 7D, activated more chakra systems we'd never had before, and gave us more poles. I moved the poles, like I did a lot. I moved the moon and the sun. And again, I didn't know what was happening to me when I did it, you guys, but this is relevant. Okay, this is very, very, very relevant because unless you have every piece of information about what the ascension is, how in the hell do you know what to do with it? Right? You don't. And I see lots of starseeds and light workers talking about the activations and the energy, but they fail to mention one thing. You have to heal in order to ascend. You have to clear karma in order to ascend. People mock contracts. People mock these things and say, what did I get myself into? What am I doing? That's a detriment. Okay? The ascension is different. This is a different lifetime. This is not like every other lifetime we've had. And I can't express this enough. You don't get another chance to come back and clear this karma. That's Judgment Day. You either clear it now or never. On the other side is what they're saying, which is a lot harder and can take a lot more time. Okay? So, this is Judgment Day. It is the end of ways. It's not the end of days for all, only for some, okay? In order to receive the DNA activations right now, you must be actively going against that shadow. So I've taught you how to heal the shadow for those who do my courses and my workshops and my healings. Not only have I taught you, but I've healed it for you. But that doesn't mean it goes away, okay? Everything is in layers. So I want you to imagine if I go deep in your body and I start healing these things, it starts to purge. And then it's your responsibility to go against that shadow. Okay? How do we go against the shadow? I teach this in my course. I've taught this in my course. Okay? Let's remember that. What is the shadow? The shadow is not meant to be of you. Okay? Essentially, back to the beginning of time, to Adam and Eve, who is also Jesus and Mary Magdalene. They're one and the same. They are. I didn't realize that until a couple months ago when they showed me who I really am. And what's really happened. So the fallen angels came down. Everybody thinks God struck Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden and did all these things. No. What happened is fallen angels, Archangel Samael, okay, he became El Diablo. He became the devil. They always say El Diablo. And I'm like, white as white can be, like, no offense. But I am. Like, I can't pronounce that very well. But that's always how Spirit puts it through, is El Diablo. It's like this angel thought he could be the Almighty God. He wanted to come down here and cause havoc. And he caused my DM to... Everybody thought Eve ate the apple. What they did is they took out the real goddess. They took out the real masculine. They created a false goddess. They created the false masculine. Then they suppressed all feminine energy because God made Eve first. Then he made Adam to protect Eve and to love each other. Okay? Twin flames. That's what they are. So much love and protection. There was so much there, they needed two souls. But it's the same soul. So they needed two vessels, same soul. That's what a twin flame is, okay? That's what Adam and Eve is, and that's what Jesus and Mary Magdalene are. A lot of angels have twin souls. Higher beings only have twin souls, okay? Especially the 144,000, these are higher beings. That's not normal entities that usually walk this planet. Myself, I've only had a few lifetimes. That's what they've told me, okay? So this is a big deal. You guys are not alone on this planet. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed all the alien invasions and all this kind of stuff going on? If you watch the work I do, I've talked about it several times. I've also told you we're in Pleiades Galaxy. I took us to 7D, not 5D. So you're feeling a really big push to go against that shadow. How do you go against that shadow? Does anybody know? Does anybody truly know? I've said it in my courses. I've said it in my workshops. So those of you that do that probably do know. It's not an easy thing to do. This is why we heal the shadow. We do shaman work. We heal the shadow. We shine the light in. We do everything. We integrate it back in, right? Some people know that. Why do we keep having to do it? So I'm tired of being attacked. I'm tired of my DM being attacked. My first one died. I'm tired of darkness. I don't know about you guys. I'm not going to play into it anymore. I'm not. I refuse to let it take me down anymore. So there's this big push in the energy right now of that shadow. Okay. Misery loves company and it wants to block any progress because it's pissed the fuck off. Okay. Ego is not meant to be. We are not meant to be half dark and half light. I can't express that enough. The vibrations don't match. They don't match 5D. They don't match 7D. You cannot be half dark and half light. Light workers and starseeds need to get this. Okay. They are missing one crucial point. All right. If you're having more physical symptoms than others, it's because you're not healed enough. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's not just because you're simply evolving. This is evolution, but what is required for you to evolve? That's what they're not talking about. Stop mocking contracts. Stop mocking karma. Stop limiting the shadow because the shadow is very, very powerful. I want you to consider the shadow is El Diablo. And it took everything in its power to integrate into all of your energy. Mine too. We were all born into it if you're born here at all. Okay? And I've had to clear all karma back to Adam and Eve. So I'm well aware of what happened to this planet, what the shadow is. Okay? And there's just a detriment in that. And so right now, I am imploring everybody, what you need to do is the opposite of what your shadow is. 1222. I can't tell you that enough. Is it easy? No. Which is why most people just let it integrate back into themselves. Go do all this healing work and it brings it out to the surface. But then they don't know what to do with it. It hits you again. It attacks you in your weaknesses. It hits you where you're small, where your fears are. And fear is not of God. So today, like yesterday, I spent the day raising my vibration, trying to make my DM feel love. I wish I could do what he does in my heart space. Like God never showed me that. I don't know how to do that, but I want to make him feel the love he made me feel the other day. Because he's the one helping bring me up this time, which is not normal. Okay. Him and then Archangel Shamuel. And it's just a big push and strength and love. It's like a union. It's a union of light. It's a union of love. I've seen a lot of star seeds. I've seen a lot of light workers fall prey to the shadow energy. Okay. And if that's the case, then we are missing those activations. We are missing the opportunities to heal and to move forward and for that abundance, because the abundance is different in 7D, 1333. The synchronicities on this video are insane than it is in reality. Okay. Seriously, it is. So this is really important, you guys. This is a push in love. We need a big push in love. There's a big push in darkness. There's a big push in misery. There's a big push in I'm not going out alone. Okay, that's what this fallen angel did. They thought that they could take all the power of God away. And they did essentially for many, many, many moons. And I use the moon in purposely, okay? Because I had to do a lot to the moon. They were blocking the sun from you. Okay. Did they go to the moon? Yes. Was it for the reason you thought it was? No. They lie to you. They lie to you about everything, but they tell you little snippets of truth so that it solidifies in the energy. That's how they did it. Okay. They used God's power and God's light. Darkness has no power without you. None. Zero. It is void of everything, which is why El Diablo spent all these lifetimes convincing you that you have to be half dark and half light because that balances us out. You guys, the synchronicities are insane. 1333, 1444, 2022, 1222. It's an important video, okay? It's enough. right? And if you read my messages at all, Archangel Chamuel said the other day that they recognize there's this big immediate response from mankind to go into that negative space, to use the shadow as a crutch. They fall back in money. They fall back in all these things of lust and that are not of God. Okay? And I don't want you to ever think that your sins were forgiven by Jesus when he died. He was not fucking crucified. He was murdered. And I say that with an F word because I processed his death. I know how he died, and it was very excruciatingly painful. He was poisoned with strychnine. It took him about 20 minutes of agonizing pain, being eaten from the inside out. He didn't die on a cross. There was no cross there. Then they created this Holy Grail and then lied to you about what it was. Okay? Was there a cup involved? Yeah, it's what gathered his blood because he was bleeding out of every orifice. It's gruesome. Okay? It's gruesome. And that's the thing, is everybody's like, oh, I can sin and Jesus died for our sins for us to be forgiven. It doesn't work that way. God doesn't judge and say, oh, you're forgiven, you're forgiven, you're forgiven. You want to know how it works? You refuse the darkness and let in more light. Period. Otherwise, if you are more dark than light, you're going to have one hell of a time surviving this journey. So the push in the energies, if you are feeling certain ways, it's because we're not listening. We are not healing enough. We're not eliminating enough. You're not getting DNA activations unless you heal enough of that shadow. And if it's more difficult for you, it's because your purpose is greater. Those who are ascending right now are having a little bit harder time than others in some ways, and they're going to, because we have to feel the pain. We've spent so many lifetimes escaping the pain, falling prey to the shadow, letting them take our power away. And the shadow is like the light, integrated into your energetic system. Okay, that's what purging the shadow is. Everybody thinks that it's just allowing it to come out, integrating back into yourself, right? We come out, we put light into it, integrates back in. That's what shamans do. It's part of what I did. Okay, I do it a different way. It's very powerful. It doesn't take me eons. I can do every bit of your shadow in one sitting, but that's not it. The rest is on you. So if you don't know what to do to heal your shadow, if you're not actively going against it, which is a lot, it's not easy, which is why not everybody would do it, which is why God doesn't just choose everybody. My new DM, God chose him, and I don't want anybody else because God chose him. Do you see what I'm saying? God knows our hearts. God sees who we are on the inside. He knows what's important. He knows what matters, and he don't play around. I have watched several people start to rise on this journey, go into a space of the shadow or judgment or El Diablo, and get completely cut off from the light. Okay? Because they don't coexist. They cannot. And this is an elimination of everything not of the light. Okay? So the push right now is to go against that shadow. It's very big. It is very big. If you can do that, abundance can come your way. If you don't, it's going to continue feeling it. You see what I'm saying? It's going to continue playing out in your environment until you can do what you need to do with it. Okay? So I did my shadow course. It's very, very important. And then I did another shadow workshop on top of that to help eliminate more because of what happened with the DM journey. It's a big deal, you guys. The energetic push is a necessity right now because we have gone so far now into 7D with all the work that I keep doing, and it's about to get bigger. So if you're feeling physical ailments, that's not just evolution, my friends. Pay attention to what's going on in your body. You need healing. That's what it's telling you. The more you feel right now, the more healing you need. Integrating DNA and all these kinds of things doesn't hurt as much as having too much of that shadow in you. So pay attention, okay? And just because you speak so kindly or do these things, and let's just, love and light, it's not exactly like that. Okay, it's not. Does what we say matter? Yes. I know how the universal flow works. I get that. All right. But right now, it is a battle of light and dark. It is a battle for your soul. Okay. And misery loves company. And you guys, they have very little time left. Like if they show me a clock, this is the time left that they have is like 45 minutes. But that's our time frame. spiritual time is different. Okay. So we don't want to rush anything. And I've talked about that several times over. But Spirit totally wants you to know right now that it's important for you to pay attention to the pains that you feel, because it's showing you what you need to heal. And if you do not eliminate the shadow even more, then we don't make it past that centripetal point. The centripetal point right now is to completely eliminate parts of the shadow. And that's why Shamuel is helping me as much as he is, and he's helping my DM as much as he is, and that's why I was being attacked so very much again. And they tried to do it again today, you guys, they did. All of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm scared, like money's not coming through, these things aren't going through, because I was being distracted. I was being completely taken down. Negativity keeps trying to take back over. Like I was awake in the middle of the night, and it's like my DM doesn't love me again. And I know better than that. Okay. So the shadow is really trying to take hold. It's weaker. It's not as strong. So if you can stand strong and eliminate it in your active environment in which it was created, then you're good to go. That is what is coming up right now. If you need help with that, I've got my courses. Those who have done it, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Be aware. Please stop eliminating and mocking contracts. That is bothering me. All right, it is. We need those contracts. We're supposed to love. This is about unconditional love. This is about clearing your karma. This is about becoming who you originally were and eliminating all the things that are not. The more we do that, you ascend. The more you don't, there's only 3 options in this lifetime. We don't get to come back to the earth you once knew. You will never be born again on that planet you once knew. Some will go, some will stay, and some will never know life this way, you guys. Okay? So don't hesitate. Pay attention to what's going on in your body. There's a big push right now. And on the 13th, I've got something bigger coming up that's starting that my DM needs to be here for. So we'll see what happens, because that's why there's a big push of the shadow. Because my DM is really being called forward right now. So it's not just me the shadow is messing with. Okay, pay attention to how it plays out in your environment and be super strong. The moment you allow the things to play out, the easier it gets. The DNA activations can come through like immediately. Okay, it's true. It's literally just a battle. Fear is created. It's not of God, right? It's not of God. Take your power back. You can have anything you want. What if I told you that? You can have anything you want right now, today. What's stopping you? Take your power back. Okay? So much love to all of you. I have something very important coming through. I need to do something on Britney Spears. So that I'm doing today, and that will be uploaded on my other... Okay, I was just reading something. I'm trying to upload a video, so I have something going to my Hertz channel right now. Hertz Music from Shamuel. It's just the music, not the guided meditation. And then on my Shining Light into the Darkness is something about Britney Spears. This is relevant. It's all connected. Okay? There is no reason to live in the future. And there is no reason to live in the past. The only thing we have is right here, right now. What we do right here, right now determines your tomorrow. It's all that matters. So much love to all of you. I will see you again soon. This is a big deal because we have anchored into a major point. Okay? So if you haven't been following Spirit's nudges, if you've been missing marks, if you've been struggling, just get on that horse right now, take it by the reins and ride. Do not hesitate. And it's time to say F you to the darkness, man. How much misery have they caused? How much pain do they have to cause until you wake up and get it? How much suffering do you want to do? I keep doing it too. It hit me hard. I'm like, great, I lost my job. I can't have a normal job, you guys, because of who I am. If I go outside of my heart center, it affects the whole entire everything. Okay, so don't think that it's undoable, whatever is happening to you. Don't ever think that. That's a false concept. Everything is a lot easier than what we make it out to be. It's that El Diablo, it's that shadow, it's that darkness that makes it something else. Okay, so this is a really big final push in the shadow. And the DM is important in this. I can't reiterate that enough. So much love to all of you. I hope you have an amazing day. This is very important. Dance and let's do a big push of love, because that's what this is about, okay? A big push in the opposite area of the shadow. Are you with me? If you watch this video to the end and you're with me, say, I'm with you in the comments below. So much love to all of you. I will see you again soon. Till next time.